See this rectangle? Yeah, this rectangle. It has storage built in, can easily export files to computers, can shoot log footage, has 4K footage, can shoot slow-mo, has different focal lengths. Oh, and it's 7 fucking ounces. iPhones are better than cameras. Sometimes. So, once upon a time, I went to film school. It was this year. And at that school, I learned all of the magical techniques of how to operate a camera, how to use ISO, shutter speed, and aperture all in unison with one another, how to switch lenses when appropriate, how to set up and mount a camera, blah blah blah. And as much fun as that was to learn, I quickly learned the disadvantages to having all this equipment as well. Having to drag around heavy equipment, coming home and realizing you shot in the wrong settings, your external monitor dying and not having enough storage, the list goes on. At the end of the day, filmmaking is about output and how much shit you can actually make. So I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter what you shoot on, and I have some other well-known guys to back up my point, starting with Bennett.
To see that people are realizing that you don't need some fancy camera or really a camera at all, because to get into it, cameras can range from $3,000 to $4,000 and a whole lot more, depending on what you're looking for. But you don't really need that anymore, and as time goes on, you're gonna need that less and less. Bitches are burning my mama, I'm dubbing it, double dishing on the rims, I'm thugging it. Bravo, X on the X on mouth, niggas want smoke, trying to see what I'm about.
How do those guys get those iPhones to make such amazing pictures? Well, it's because you're not using the right settings. So let's fix that. I'm gonna run down some easy and effective ways to get really cinematic, with just a few changes. First of all, enable your grid lines. This way you can use them to frame the best image possible. Film at 24 frames per second. In a click of a button, you can have realistic, blurry looking footage just by reducing the frames per second. 24 frames per second is the closest you can get to a real human-like gaze, and it's only a click of a button to turn it on. Selecting 4K. 4K is a higher resolution than 1080p. I wouldn't necessarily always use this, especially for social media, because it will get compressed down at 1080p, but for a music video or a short film, I'd go for it. Manual exposure. When filming on an iPhone, sometimes the auto exposure will blow out your highs. To fix this, simply press the spot that's blown out and it'll readjust the entire image. Oh, and a bonus tip. Downloading an app like Filmic or Blackmagic Pro will allow you to have even more control of your image, allowing you to access manual settings that you normally could do with a camera, which is perfect for those who are more familiar with cameras. Remember the advantages you have when you're shooting on an iPhone. You're mobile, you have less variables to worry about. Shooting on an iPhone is an advantage, and you need to take advantage of it. Go out there and start shooting today. It doesn't matter what you're editing on, as long as you're making stuff, you're going to get a lot better. If you want a more in-depth video on how to make iPhone footage look more cinematic, just let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.